I was at a conference, and a lot of times at conferences they have worship in the beginning where you have music and you're praising. And during that time, one of the speakers from the conference, she got up on the stage and she said that releasing that we should be hearing words to share with others for the Lord. And as she said that, I received downloads of words for some people that were around me. And so instead of just keeping them to myself, I decided to go around and share them with those people. There was about 6 different ladies that were there that I shared with, and as I shared those words with them, each of them were saying how grateful they were for the word. Most of these words were positive things for them, and they were grateful for it. I moved along. Well, there was one other person that I had received a word for. She was right in front of me, and I kind of had like a vision and a word for her, and to me it didn't seem very negative, and I didn't think anything about it. I just went right up to her and shared it with her. So I placed my hand around her and I just said, hey, I have a word for you that I feel like I received. Do you mind if I share that with you? And she looked at me and she's like, no, no big deal. So I said, well, I actually saw an envelope above your head and it had like a heart seal on it. And then I saw these letters above floating around. And what I heard was that you were going to be receiving words and downloads for others, but it was important for you to share those words, for them to not be kept and treasured for yourself, but for you to deliver those messages. And I shared that word with her, and she kind of just like, and turned around. And then I saw her walk away, and I didn't really think too much of it. Worship continued to be amazing. I was praising the Lord. I was like, thank you for these downloads. This is so good. And so the next thing I know, I see some people coming toward me, and there's a long story behind that, but they had actually asked me to leave. They said that I was causing a disturbance. And so one of the things that I want to point out to you in this story is maybe you receive words for people, but what are you going to do? You're going to have one side where people receive those words, and you're going to have another side where they don't receive them at all. And like I said, to me, it didn't seem like it was something negative, but for some reason, she didn't accept that word very well, and it was upsetting to her. So what I'm trying to say is not everybody's going to accept those words. Does that mean that I'm going to not share words anymore? Absolutely not. And I just want to encourage you, if you've ever come to that point where somebody tried discouraging you because they didn't want to receive what you had to say. Like I said, once again, I didn't come to this lady with doom and gloom. I had a vision of an envelope, and the word was that she wasn't to keep the words to herself, to share them. So I wasn't prophesying over her that her granddaughter was going to die or anything of those types of nature. It was a positive word, but she chose not to receive that. So when I have negative things come toward me about something that I'm excited, I'm receiving these words to share with others, I can't let that stop me in continuing to move forward. So once again, if you are receiving words to share with others, you're going to come to that point where there's that fork where people receive them or they don't receive them. And if they don't receive them, you can move forward with your life. Just don't get caught up in that personal emotion that person is up against you. That's their choice whether they receive that. If you have a word that you're giving to somebody, they should be checking that word and making sure that it is something from the Lord as well on their behalf. But ultimately, I want this to be an encouragement. Keep on sharing. Don't be scared. Don't be shy. I could have kept all those words to myself, but the joy that I saw come off of these women's faces as I was sharing what I felt led to share with them was absolutely beautiful and priceless. And I know it didn't get taken positive by 1 out of the 6. I can't get myself all cut up out of the 1 when I had 6. So just let that hopefully be a reminder for you to keep on pushing through, even though somebody comes up at you and tells you that they don't like what you have to say.